Morning, everyone. Live session in my garage gym. A little late past the 9 o'clock, but I'm glad you're here to join in. Today we're talking about the GHD, specifically the GHR, so the glute ham raise. We're going to be going over the glute ham raise on the GHD. GHD stands for glute ham developer. So today's series is going to focus on the GHR execution, setup, points, performance, but then also how you can modify if you don't have the strength to do that. So we're going to set up the foot pad here, very similar to your hip extension. So if you watched my previous series, I have a video on hip extension on the GHD. You need to make sure your hip joint was free of the pad for the hip extension. Personally, for my length of my legs, I set it up so that it's exact same of my hip extension. Now, setup position here is going to be dependent on your legs, etc. But what we're looking for here is that your heel is close to the top pad here. I am now pressing into this metal pad. I want to think of driving my knees down as far as I can on the side of the GHD. Now, depending on the type of GHD you have or pad setup, you may be limited to how far down you can go. The lower you can get your knee, hopefully you guys can kind of see this angle, the more of an angle here, the more leverage you will have to pull yourself back up. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll demonstrate what a GHR looks like. I'll do 2 reps so you can see, and then I'll talk about execution. 1 more. So again, I'm using leverage here against the quad and the pad here to pull myself up. So again, heel on the top part of this pad. I'm pushing my toes into the metal. I'm trying to push my knee down as far as possible, and I'm starting fully extended here, hips open. Now, if you're on here for the first time, try a couple inches going forward. I'm extending at the knee joint, going to about a 45. Then I'm going to use my hamstrings and back and foot as I push against this metal to pull myself back up. So hands are across the body or by the side, but I'm pulling myself back up with my hamstrings and that knee joint. As you feel more comfortable, you can go further out. So I can all the way out. As I go out, notice I'm trying to keep my hips open versus closing here, right? So this is gonna be a lot harder. And also notice that as I go down, I'm extending my lower leg. So this is that Superman position that we did in the hip extension GHDs, right? So if I adjust my position real quickly, I pull myself forward. That's the same position that I go into for the hip extension. So again, I'm adjusting my position by dropping my knees down, pushing against the metal. But as I reach this full extension here, I'm then going to pull myself back up with my hamstrings. I do have a slight hinge, slight bend in my hip here. Notice as I come up, I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible, but as I come up, hips will slightly close just a little bit. But again, it requires a lot of strength on the hamstrings. So if you're looking to strengthen your hamstrings posterior side, this can definitely assist. If you guys have been following along with me, I have my fitness app that I do specific exercises as accessory work in my workout of the day program. I also have my strength and tone program where I coach and demonstrate and help you strengthen your posterior chain and other exercises. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, feel free to click the link below and you can check out my app. So again, posterior side, hamstrings, glutes, erectors, we want to focus on extending all the way out and pulling ourselves all the way back in. Now, this is a very advanced movement for those who have never done it. If you feel like you're cramping, come off the GHD, do not stay on there. Some modifications, I'm going to give one that's incremental to be huge for your health, for yourself. I also will provide an extra exercise or movement that you can do to strengthen your hamstrings individually, then eventually you can progress. So I'm going to adjust the camera down so you can kind of see a little bit further range of motion. I'm going to be demonstrating this scaled option. So essentially it's a GHR, but we're doing it against a stable. So if you have like a sturdy rig or something that's hard that you can press against, but also have your band attached like so, then you can utilize that. So this modification, I have the band about knee, thigh height. I'm going to pull myself or wrap myself in the band. I'm going to put my toes against that hard anchor point. That's why you need to have something heavy and stable that's not going to move. If you're doing it against a rig, like a pull-up rig or a squat rack, again, just make sure it's not going to move with a lot of pressure against it. So toes are together, pressing against the anchor point. I have an ab mat for my knees. It gives me a little bit of cushion as I go down. I have this band about belly to rib cage height. From here, I'm going to lower myself down. Hopefully don't hit my wicker basket here. I'm going to use my arms as assistance on the way down and on the way up. So it looks like this. I go down and then I push myself away from the floor. The more you push, the less you'll use your hamstrings, right? The more you'll have to pull. I'm pressing my toes into my anchor point here as assistance. So if you want more assistance, you can grab a thicker band. This is a 1-inch green band from Rogue that I'm using. So if you want more assistance, you can use that. You can also place this band a little bit lower by the hips. As you go down, it will eventually start to fall a little bit down, so you may need to readjust it back to your belly button. But the intention here is to mimic that range of motion that we're doing on the GHD for the GHR, but now you have assistance with the band, your legs, and now you can even use your arms as extra assistance. Again, you still want to try to keep that hip joint open versus pushing the butt back. This is really going to isolate those hamstrings and help you focus on building, again, that backside. So posterior chain, back, glutes, hamstrings. Posterior, just think of the backside of the body. So if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to share with friends, family, leave a comment, share a like. Feel free to share the video as well. If there's anything specific that you would like to see in terms of accessory work, let me know. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a full workout of the day program and a strength and tone program to help you get strong, lose fat, and build muscle. So if you're looking to join in and join my community, feel free to click the link below, and that will take you to my landing page. You can sign up for a monthly or annual version on my app, and I provide you virtual coaching, and I also have a community chat group where we can ask questions. I have a challenge going on right now, so you can totally join in that challenge as well. Again, any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next live session.